Okay, so we are now on the fifth plague, which is the plague against livestock. And our passage is found in Exodus chapter 9, verse 1 up to verse 7. So let's read. Go back to Pharaoh. The Lord commanded Moses. Tell him this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. Let my people go so they can worship me. And verse 2, if you continue to hold them and refuse to let them go, the hand of the Lord will strike all your livestock, your horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats with a deadly plague. And verse 4, but the Lord will again make a distinction between the livestock of the Israelites and that of the Egyptians. Not a single one of Israel's animals will die. The Lord has already set the time for the plague to begin. He has declared that he will strike the land tomorrow. And the Lord did just as he had said. The next morning, all the livestock of the Egyptians died, but the Israelites didn't lose a single animal. Pharaoh sent his officials to investigate, and they discovered that the Israelites had not lost a single animal. But even so, Pharaoh's heart remained stubborn, and he still refused to let the people go. So this is the map. This is the Egypt. This is the Egypt, and this is the Goshen, right? So as you can see, you can just imagine how did God send plagues to Egypt. And moving forward in the life application commentary, it says, this was the fifth time God sent Moses back to Pharaoh with the demand, let my people go. By this time, Moses may have been tired and discouraged, but he continued to obey. And this is the question for us. Do you find yourself facing the same difficult conflict again and again? And this is the encouragement. Don't give up when you know what is right to do. As Moses discovered, persistence is rewarded. Why the fifth plague is the plague of livestock? Why did God destroys the Egyptian livestock? So let's read again in verse 1. It says, go back to Pharaoh, the Lord commanded Moses. Tell him, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews says, let my people go so they can worship me. If you continue to hold them and refuse to let them go, the hand of the Lord will strike all your livestock, your horses, donkeys, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats, with a deadly plague. Why the fifth plague was on livestock? So each plague was not random, it was a targeted judgment against Egypt's gods and a message to Pharaoh. The livestock plague struck at the heart of Egypt's wealth, religion, and daily life. So here's what it means. Number one, judgment against Egypt's animal gods. Egyptians worship several gods connected to animals, especially cattle. And the example of that is Apis, the sacred bull god, symbol of strength and fertility. They have also Hathor, the cow goddess of love and protection, and Nevis, another sacred bull worship in Heliopolis. So by destroying the livestock, God was showing, your gods are powerless before me. The Lord alone is God. And we can read that in Exodus chapter 12, verse 12. It says, I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. Let's read. On that night I will pass through the land of Egypt and strike down every firstborn son and firstborn male animal in the land of Egypt. I will execute judgment against all the gods of Egypt, for I am the Lord. So the plague was a spiritual warfare. So the plague wasn't just physical, it was spiritual warfare, exposing Egypt's false gods. Number two, attack on Egypt's economy and pride. So livestock were vital for farming and transportation, food, milk and meat, clothing, leather, wool, religious sacrifices. So losing them meant economic disaster. And that is disaster that happened to Egypt, showing Pharaoh that all Egypt's strength and wealth came from God, not from themselves. So they think it comes from their own strength, but it doesn't. Everything comes to God, from God. Okay? And number three, protection for God's people. In Exodus chapter 9, verse 4, it says, "But the Lord will again make a distinction between the livestock of the Israelites and that of the Egyptians. Not a single one of Israel's animals will die." So the Bible is very specific. Not a single one of them, or not a single one of Israel's animals will die. So this showed that God's covenant people were under His protection. And we are under God's protection, a visible sign that He was with them even in Egypt. So what lesson can we learn here? Spiritual lesson is that, number one, God may allow things we depend on, like wealth, work, or possessions, to be shaken, not to destroy us, but to teach us to trust Him rather than idols. So if we have idols within our heart, especially our work, our possessions, our wealth, it's we must give it to the Lord. We must give up on that material things, and we must worship the Lord. Just like the Egyptians trusted their livestock and gods for strength, God reminds us that true security comes only from Him. So the Bible is very clear that if you want to have a real and true security, it comes only from God. So in summary, the fifth plague targeted Egyptians' animal gods, especially Apis and Hathor. Number two, it humbled Egyptians' pride and economy. And number three, it proved God's power and protected His people. And lastly, it teaches us to worship and depend only on God, not on earthly things. So I hope this short message or devotion helps you to recognize who God is. And thank you so much.